Live from the site of the Democratic National Convention in Denver, Colorado, this is a suspicion of Meet the Press, moderated today by Tom Brokaw.
Our issues this Sunday: Obama chooses his running mate.
With Joe Biden at my side, I am confident we take this country in a new direction.
An exclusive interview with the co-chair of the committee that vetted the vice presidential candidates for the Obama campaign, the daughter of our nation's 35th president, Caroline Kennedy. Then, can Hillary Clinton bring her supporters into the Obama camp? And which issues will top the legislative agenda for our next president? We asked the convention chairwoman and Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. And in our political roundtable, can the pick of Joe Biden help Obama with undecided voters? And McCain and Obama clash over who's more in touch in tough economic times.
How many houses do you and Mrs. McCain have? I think I'll let my staff get to you.
If you don't know how many houses you have, then it's not surprising that you might think the economy was fundamentally strong.
Insights and analysis from Gwen Eiffel, moderator of PBS's Washington Week and senior correspondent for PBS's The NewsHour with Jim Lehrer. John Meacham, editor of Newsweek magazine, and Chuck Todd, political director for NBC News.
But first, joining us here at the Pepsi Center in Denver, a woman who had a tough assignment as co-chair of the selection process for Obama's running mate search, Caroline Kennedy. Your work is now done. Welcome back. We just checked the records. This is the third time you've been on Meet the Press, first in 2002, then in 2003, and we're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
You're famously reserved. We're back from the Pepsi Center, site of the Democratic National Convention in Denver, and pleased to be joined now by the chairwoman of the convention, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi of San Francisco. Madam Speaker, welcome.
Good morning.
The selection of Joe Biden, the senator from Delaware, as the vice presidential candidate, the running mate for Senator Obama, is for the high price of gasoline. Here are the numbers that we have that we can show you on the screen. Not surprisingly, big oil companies, price gouging by the American public, they thought that that was the big reason for it. Lack of effective action by Congress, almost as high. So Congress is bearing the responsibility in the eyes of the American public for not doing something about gasoline.
That's that poll, but the fact is that the oil companies, the administration, they all rank higher than Congress in most of those polls. But the point is this: we have to look out for the consumer. We have to increase the supply of energy.
But, the NBC News Wall Street Journal survey of last week showed Senator Obama, his lead over Senator McCain was cut in half to about 3 points in the wide universe. But here's a surprising number. When we did Hillary Clinton as a matchup against Senator McCain, she ran much more strongly than Senator Obama did against Senator McCain. As you can see, she leads by 6 points there. Do you think it was a mistake for Senator Obama not to select her as a vice presidential candidate?
I think that Senator Obama chose the vice presidential candidate that brought balance to his ticket. It's his choice.
We're going to share those with you as well. When it comes to economic issues, the country is very much in favor of Senator Obama in terms of solving the problems or improving the economy, as you can see, by a factor of 42 to 30%. They believe that he's a stronger candidate. But when it comes to the man who's best equipped to be commander-in-chief, Senator Obama comes up well short of Senator McCain, there by a factor of 50 to 39%. That's a lot of making up that Senator Obama has to do, despite all the rhetorical cheering on that will go on this week. The hard reality is a week from now, the country still has many questions about whether he's equipped to be commander. Democrats that I know at the national level are willing to acknowledge that the surge was successful by most objective standards. Other analysts are saying that it probably was. When you were interviewed on this broadcast in 2004 by Tim Russert, he asked you about the need for additional American troops. Let's just share with the audience and have you review what you had to say at that time.
Would you put more American troops on the ground?
Clear and present danger facing the United States is terrorism. We have to solidify, we have to stabilize the situation in Iraq. We have a responsibility now in Iraq there. And we have to get more troops on the ground.
Would you send more American troops in order to stabilize the situation?
Yes.
You said yes in 2004 to the idea of more American troops on the ground. That was, in effect, what happened with the surge. The surge appears to be successful. Democrats who were opposed to it are now having a hard time saying it worked.
No, let's make a distinction. What was the purpose of the surge? The purpose of the surge was to create a secure time so that the political solutions could emerge, that the Iraqi government would have room to make those political decisions. So yes, you put more troops on the ground.
And very effective interview by Pastor Rick Warren at the Saddleback Church in California of the two candidates recently. And on the right especially, response from Senator Obama to the question of when life begins has been getting a lot of attention. We want to just share with you how that went, and then you can take a look at it and respond to it for us.
At what point does a baby get human rights, in your view?
Well, I think that whether you're looking at it from a theological perspective or a scientific perspective, answering that question with specificity, is above my pay grade.
Senator Obama saying the question of when life begins is above his pay grade, whether you're looking at it scientifically or theologically. We're back live from Denver, site of the Democratic National Convention. I'm joined by my colleagues and friends, Gwen Ifill, who's host of PBS's Washington Week and senior correspondent for the NewsHour with Jim Lehrer, political director Chuck Todd of NBC News, and John Meacham, who is the editor of Newsweek magazine, has just completed a cover story on Senator Obama. Let's begin with the Biden selection. Gwen, help.
It doesn't hurt. I'm not sure that Joe Biden needed to run across the stage yesterday. I'm not sure that was the best look for a 65-year-old man, but he was enthusiastic.
Now be careful about 65-year-old men.
I got nothing wrong, but they both nothing against 65-year-old men. But he did what he needed to do. You heard him say, "Your kitchen table is just like mine." He was trying to send that message.
Turn that off. That he doesn't want to linger as a prospective vice presidential candidate. He's trying to be above that political fray, based on my conversation.
Look, the big fear, if I were McCain, by floating it, is what if Powell says not only turn it off, and by the way, I haven't decided whether I might endorse you yet.
Right.
That it can back.
Well, he's kind of said that.
Yeah.
That's the nightmare scenario.
Yeah. Thank you all very much. It's going to be a very exciting week here in Denver. I have a couple of things I want to remind people about, and that is, Chuck, of course, you'll be reporting all week long on MSNBC from midnight to midnight.
Apparently,
it's a 24-hour cycle.
Hey, buddy, you're not getting away either. Easy. You're
all the parts of it. And John, you're moving over to our business a little step at a time. You've got a live webcast on Newsweek.com.
It's a brave new world.
It's a brave new world. We're happy to have you there. And Gwen, of course, we'll see you all this week on PBS, on Jim Lehrer and other things, and I'll be back. That's all for today. We'll be back next week live from the site of the Republican National Convention in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, St. Paul and Minneapolis. And, of course, stay with MSNBC and NBC News over the next 2 weeks for full coverage of both party national conventions. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.